Introduction: Navigating the Complexities of Love. Love, in its purest form, is a profound source of joy and deep fulfillment. It enriches our lives, offering connection, support, and a sense of belonging. Yet the landscape of relationships can be complex, sometimes presenting challenges that are difficult to discern. It is vital to understand the subtle nuances within our connections with others. Not all expressions of affection are genuine, and not all intense feelings signify healthy love. We must learn to differentiate authentic care from manipulative tactics. This understanding is crucial for our emotional safety and well-being. It empowers us to build relationships that truly uplift us, rather than those that subtly undermine our sense of self. Genuine love builds gradually, like a sturdy, well-constructed home. It is founded on mutual respect, where both individuals feel seen, heard, and valued. Trust is the bedrock, earned through consistent actions and transparent communication over time. Genuine love offers consistent support, a steady presence through life's ups and downs. It is a partnership where growth is encouraged and boundaries are honored. There is no rush, no overwhelming pressure, just a natural unfolding of connection. Love bombing, however, is characterized by an intense whirlwind courtship. It overwhelms the recipient with excessive affection, lavish gifts, and grand promises very early on. This torrent of attention feels intoxicating, almost too good to be true. The true purpose of love bombing is to manipulate and control. It quickly creates a profound sense of dependency in the target. This intense early attachment makes it incredibly difficult to see the abuser's true nature when it inevitably begins to surface. A key indicator of a deeply problematic relationship is the tug-of-war dynamic. This pattern is frequently found in trauma-bonded relationships, where emotional manipulation runs rampant. It involves alternating periods of intense affection and validation with sudden harsh criticism, devaluation, or outright abuse. The abuser masterfully pulls the victim close with promises, charm, and overwhelming affection. Then, without warning, they push them away with hurtful behavior, coldness, or cruel words. This creates a relentless cycle of hope and disappointment, keeping the victim constantly off balance. This emotional whiplash is disorienting and deeply damaging. It makes it incredibly difficult for the victim to leave, as they are always chasing the return of that initial, intoxicating affection. The intermittent reinforcement traps them in a desperate quest for validation. A trauma bond is an emotional tie that binds an abused person to their abuser. It is a complex and insidious dynamic, often misunderstood by those outside the experience. This bond develops when the abuser is also the primary source of comfort, support, or even identity for the victim. The victim may develop profound sympathy or even affection for the abuser, even while experiencing ongoing abuse. This paradoxical attachment is further complicated by the relentless cycle of abuse. The abuser alternates between harmful behavior and displays of remorse, apologies, or promises of change. These moments of apparent kindness or regret create a false sense of hope. They reinforce the bond, making the victim believe that the good person they fell in love with is still there, just temporarily lost. This intermittent reinforcement is incredibly powerful, making the victim cling to the hope of the abuser's return to their loving self. The abuser expertly exploits the victim's emotional needs and vulnerabilities. They identify what the victim craves: love, validation, security, and then offer it in controlled, intermittent doses. This creates a profound dependency, where the victim may become reliant on the abuser for validation, comfort, and even their sense of identity. This dependence, combined with the intermittent reinforcement, makes it incredibly difficult to break free. The victim is constantly seeking the good moments, hoping to stabilize the relationship. The abuser systematically tests boundaries, gradually increasing their control over the victim's life, finances, and social connections. They manipulate the victim's perception of reality, often through gaslighting, making them doubt their own memories, feelings, and sanity. This psychological warfare isolates the victim, making them believe the abuser is the only one who truly understands them. For those enabling these dynamics, understand that your actions, however well intentioned, can inadvertently tighten these invisible chains. Your silence or attempts to mediate can reinforce the abuser's power and the victim's isolation. These promises, though rarely kept, offer a glimmer of hope that keeps the victim invested. The victim becomes dependent on the abuser to fulfill their emotional needs, even as those needs are consistently unmet or exploited. This dynamic tragically blurs the lines between what is abuse and what is perceived as love. Stockholm Syndrome is a specific and well-known example of a trauma bond. It describes situations where captives develop positive feelings or loyalty towards their captors. While not all trauma bonds are as extreme, the underlying psychological mechanism of attachment in the face of threat is similar. Breaking free from trauma bonds requires immense courage and a clear, unwavering commitment to self-preservation. The first crucial step is recognizing these unhealthy patterns for what they truly are: manipulation, not love. This awareness is the initial crack in the abuser's control. Seeking support from trusted sources is absolutely vital. This might include therapists specializing in abuse, support groups, or close friends and family who genuinely understand and validate your experience. Isolation is the abuser's greatest weapon. Connection is your strongest defense. Establishing firm boundaries is non-negotiable, even if it feels terrifying. This means clearly defining what you will and will not tolerate, and then consistently enforcing those limits. Prioritizing your self-worth above all else is paramount. You must internalize the truth that you deserve respect, kindness, and genuine love, not manipulation or abuse. The ultimate goal is to cultivate relationships that genuinely nurture your growth and spirit. Seek connections built on mutual respect, where your voice is heard and your feelings are validated. Strive for relationships that allow both individuals to thrive, fostering an environment of genuine care and reciprocal support. Remember, healing is a process, not a destination. Be patient and kind to yourself as you navigate this journey. You deserve a life filled with authentic love, respect, and profound well-being. Please share this with someone who may need it. Like and subscribe for more.